WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys. Ta-da! Finally in English, I have a Michel Couvreur bottle in front of me. This is a German exclusive, or Germany exclusive, for Whiskey for Life, Frank Jäger in Frankfurt, and Marco Bond at the Brühler Whiskyhaus in Brühl, Germany, between Cologne and Bonn. This is an unpeated overaged. What in all the world does that mean, overaged? There's no age statement on this. Now, I'm going to rant and rave a little bit about this company because I don't get the hype. Now, over here in Germany, many people love anything and everything from Michel Couvreur. I just don't get it. I actually did about 2 years ago a tasting with 6 of their products. We had various things there on the table. Wait a second. Go over here. Find. We had the Overaged Malt Whisky with 43%. We had the Candid back then, the new Disclosure Expression. We had the Kappa Pie. We had the Special Vatting, which was a peated malt whiskey. We even had an Intravenvegantia, which wasn't even whiskey. It was still spirit. It wasn't even 3 years of old age, but they put it into these very old sherry casks. And not a single one really wowed me. Now, the question could be, Jason, why did you buy this bottle then? Now, it's a very simple question. Oh, by the way, Whiskybase 257054. There is often in many online shops in Germany a special limit you have to reach in order to have free postage and handling. And I wanted to buy from a different whiskey tuber. His name is Friendly Mr. Z, or Z, Mr. Z. And he works actually at the Brühler Whiskyhaus part-time, and he does all of his bottle shares over them, and he actually did a mega whiskey blend where he took all the rest of his samples and all the rest of his bottles and poured it all together. Had this big, he actually put it in a cask, and then he let it sit there for a couple of months, and then he be bottled. And I wanted one of those bottlings. It was called the Monster Mega Blend. I thought the name was cool. The label was cool. I did a video about it in German, at least. I think I did not do it in English because it turned out to be fairly peaty, and it was just not my thing. And I wanted to buy that bottle. And in order to get postage free, it's like, okay, I have to buy a second bottle. And his bottling was, I don't know, 60 some euros. This is 100 euros, 99 euros. And with the two together, I got sent free to my home. And I knew, because there are a lot of people in Germany, especially in the whiskey geek scene, that love anything from Michel Couvreur, that this bottle would be an easy bottle share. And it was. So this is made up of Fino sherry cask and Pedro Ximenez sherry. Now, first of all, that's a weird combination. There are 634 bottles of this, and this is also weird. We have here 598 of those bottles were 700 milliliter bottles, and 36 of these were Magnum bottles. All right, all that information has a label, and that's kind of cool. Let's say that. All right, so I have the label in front of me a tiny little bit here. So it says here, Michel Couvreur, it's the Mochim House, Old Mochim in Scotland, and the Les Molettes, Bouzou de le Buron in France, unpeated, overaged, distilled in Scotland, very interesting, vatted from various very old whiskeys. What does that mean? And traditionally ennobled, wow, that's a word I don't use, E-N-N-O-B-L-E-D, ennobled, by maturation with sherry oak casks in our Durgungian caves. Now, I'll talk about that in a second. Produced in France. Well, it's distilled in Scotland, but it's produced in France because it's bottled there. Limited blending made exclusively for those two companies in Germany that are the distributors. I have bottled number 48, so, and it was bottled in June of 24. Now, the thing is, they do not produce whiskey themselves. They do not distill whiskey themselves. They are basically an independent bottler. That's all they are. So to give a very abbreviated story here of this brand is what I'm going to call it. Michel Couvreur died 2013, so it's actually 11 years ago. His son-in-law, basically, here, Jean Arnault Franzen, took over and has been doing interesting, creative, new things there. And Michel Couvreur had in the back of his house basically a little bit of cave, and then he created a cave underground system by using explosives and drilling equipment and so on to actually make a cave system for storage. That's not unusual. A lot of French wineries and some even in Spain or Portugal have underground basements that they store their wines in, so why not do that? Now, Michel Couvreur, and the company Michel Couvreur have sourced whiskeys from various different distilleries in Scotland, so you never know what you're going to get. It's also, they blend it together, so they don't tell you that. And it's not even just all single malt. So this is, according to the label here, this is a blended malt, but some things have grain in them, and so that's not even always the case. 100 euros for a no age stated whiskey. Now, it does say it's overaged. Give us information about what that means. It doesn't even say on the label natural color. It doesn't even say non-chilled filtered. So, but geeks know that it's a natural color. Geeks know that it's non-chilled filtered. Well, are you sure? I hope so. Now, 100 euros to pay for this bottle is a little bit of money, I must admit. But as I said, I got it very quickly. I did the bottle share, and there's enough fans out there that don't want to buy the bottle. Now, talking about not wanting to buy the bottle, my comparison whiskey, Buna 12. All right, so 40 euros at the moment in Germany, so I get more. I can get 2 of these and still have 10 euros change left over, which is kind of cool. So talking about bottles, this actually hit the market in July 2024. It's now basically November 2024 when I'm doing this video. And there are still, of the 634 bottles in Germany, it's a Germany exclusive, still both shops have more than enough. If this was really a fan favorite, why aren't they gone? Other products with 600 bottles evaporate quickly, but it's still there. Now, I'm going to give one reason that might be the case, and that is, now the nose I like. There's plums, there's prunes, there's milk chocolate, there's a little bit of leather, and what I also get is sulfur. And that's just like, okay, if you're going to build a brand based not on the distillery or the distillate that you have, but based on the fact that you have old, ancient, very old sherry casks there, not necessarily seasoned casks, so old sherry casks from old bodegas and so on. And then you bring in-house sulfured casks and you bottle things from sulfured cask. And this is a very, very small operation here, all right? They're putting out, I'm going to say, less than 20,000 bottles a year. Now, this might have been a 20,000 bottle release just of the Buna 12, this one batch, all right? So I may be wrong. I might be wrong by a factor of 5 with that. They might actually do only 10,000 bottles a year. They might do 50,000 bottles a year. I have no factual information on that. It was a guess with 20,000 bottles. But they're putting out whiskey with sherry in it, with a sulfur in it, and that just destroys any trust that I have in a hyper brand here. So on the nose, The Buna 12, excellent. Question of the day, what can beat Buna 12? Well, I know what beats it. It's the Buna 12 cask strength. Or the Edredauer cask strength, batch 1, 2, 3, or 4. Those are products for €100 that I would buy any day of the week instead of this. But I needed safe postage and handling, and so I bought the bottle. Am I sad that I bought it? No. But am I happy I bought it? Well, probably I should have picked something else. But that's life. All right. Let's try this. Sláinte. Cheers. Why 49%? Why not 50? Why not 48? Why not 55? I mean, there's in our blind, and it wasn't, I don't know, was it blind tasting back then? We had 50%, 45%, 49%, 43%. So they're all over the place with our percentages, alcohol percentages here. The longer it's in the glass, the more of a sulfur moment I get. It's a shame. Cheers. It's got a nice woody, almost light, a little bit of astringency, plum, milk chocolate, sulfur. And that sulfur just comes over and just covers up everything else. And it gets worse with the moment, with the longer it's in my mouth. Wow. I remember the time I did the Michel Couvreur tasting, and it was like, hey, put it in the glass half an hour earlier. Let it air out a little bit. I'm using that term on purpose, air out. What happens is volatile aromas that are in the glass actually can escape. And it changes a little bit of the aroma. It changes the aroma a lot. It changes a little bit of the flavor. And it gets rid of the bad stuff. Now, why is there bad stuff even in there? And it's not just here, Michel Couvreur. A lot of whiskeys say, oh, the lower the bottle gets, the better it is. Well, what's in there? Why does that happen? Why should that be? Shouldn't it be from the very first sip that is good and you don't have to get rid of the bad stuff? That's something I will never totally comprehend. Why that needs to be done, and why is that not from the very beginning avoided having that bad stuff either from the cask or from the distillate or wherever in my glass. This is a C- D+ whiskey. Value for money, D. As I said, not for €100 would I ever buy this again. This is basically Johnny Walker bottle, all right? They just put it on the side, do a little bit of label over that one corner, and you have, ta-da, something like that. This is not soft wax. This is not your Maker's Mark where you have a nice little pull tab and it just comes off, or even Booker's that it comes off. It's even not even like the Knob Creek where you have that in there's a little pieces that come off instead of the soft wax. You need a knife to get this open. So it's the entire thing is covered by wax. You need a bottle opener, cork opener. You need a knife to cut through that once, and then it works. But I know people who have cut their hands open opening bottles like this. This is not something that I go, oh, great. But rather it's like, oh, no, I got to open a bottle of this. What can I say? I'm disappointed. What can I say? I cannot wholeheartedly recommend Michel Couvreur products. Now, there are people that like it. They have always the old school sherry moment, but they're actually dealing for the last 10 years now in newer casks. They're going and getting different casks, and because the old casks are literally falling apart on them and leaking and so on. And so I think the flavor profile is changing. Who knows where they get the distillate from? Is it the same distillate they got 10 years ago? Probably not. And so there's so many factors involved with this that I would highly recommend try before you buy. All right? So something that if you've had the Buna 12 once, you're probably going to go out and get another one. This is something for me, perma shelf, using a word from Roy from Aquavite, a perma shelf product, the Buna 12. You just can't go wrong. And still at €40, you can't go wrong. non-chilled filtered, no color added, age stated, 46.3%, and delicious. Yummy. So, what is your opinion of Michel Couvreur? Have you had any of their French-produced, bottled Scotch malt whiskey that was distilled in Scotland? I'm trying to find the right words here. And if so, what is your opinion of it? I think it's overhyped. Sorry. I think 10 years ago it was much better. Today, it's not what it used to be. Personal opinion, so sorry. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany. All the best. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and hit that bell if you want to actually be reminded that every second day I bring out a video here. Bye-bye.